Welcome back. The governorship flag bearer of the All Progressive Congress in Anambra State, Senator Chris Ngige, has met with indigents of the state residing in Enugu, southeast Nigeria. Senator Ngige told the group that top on his priority list of things to do when he gets to office is improve workers' welfare and ensure effective local government administration in the state.
This boisterous group is the Anambra State People's Assembly, an umbrella body for Anambra indigents working or doing business in Enugu State. The meeting here has been convened to enable the APC governorship candidate officially present himself to the association and outline his plans for the people as he vies for office in Anambra State.
The blueprints, the work plan, I left in that government house. 70% of my thoughts, my good wishes, my work plan for Anambra people has not been done. And I want to come and do it myself.
The issue of workers' welfare seems to be paramount among the members of the Assembly, and the party promised to improve on this and establish an effective grassroots government through a viable electoral process.
What is your welfare? As civil servants, you must be paid your salaries as a working, your leave allowances, your pension, your gratuity if you retire, your promotions, and other social welfare benefits. You must have access to qualitative health care when you are sick. Can you get us access to qualitative health care in Anambra State? Where hospitals are closed for 13 months.
His antecedents speaks for him. He's one that is tested and trusted. We have not tested the others. A bird in hand is worth 1 million in the bush.
The Anambra group, away from home, believes and appears ready to give him the necessary support.
The military has confirmed the killing of 40 Boko Haram insurgents in a renewed counter-insurgency operation to forestall planned attacks by the radical sect in Borno State. Acting Deputy Director of Army Public Relations of 7th Division of the Nigerian Army, Captain Aliyu Danja, in a statement in Maiduguri, noted that troops from the division thwarted attempts by the insurgents to attack Bama, Gwoza and Pulka towns on the night of Sunday, October the 13th. According to him, soldiers from the division in anticipation successfully repelled all the attacks, killing 40 of the terrorists in the 3 locations, while several others escaped with gunshot wounds. Rights group Amnesty International has asked the Joint Task Force, JTF, to, as a matter of urgency, investigate the deaths of hundreds of people in detention facilities run by the JTF. Amnesty says it has received credible information from a senior officer in the Nigerian Army that over 950 people died in military custody in the first 6 months of 2013 alone. According to the rights group, a large proportion of these deaths are reported to have happened in Giwa Military Barracks, Maiduguri, in Borno State, and Sector Alpha, commonly referred to as Guantanamo, and Presidential Lodge, known as Guard Room, in Damaturu, Yobe State. Amnesty, quoting former detainees it interviewed, claims that people died on an almost daily basis in both Giwa and Sector Alpha from suffocation or other injuries due to overcrowding and starvation. Some people, according to Amnesty, suffered serious injuries due to severe beating and eventually died in detention due to lack of medical attention and treatment. Justice may no longer be far from the families of 2 men who were killed in Lagos on October the 6th, as there is renewed efforts to uncover the identity of the culprits. The Chief Coroner of Lagos State, Justice Latifa Okunu, has ordered a coroner inquest into the extrajudicial killings of Rafiu Adeniji and Ganiu Adedoyin. Channels Television, on visiting Oshodi area, where one of the 2 men was killed, discovered a link in the 2 deaths, which the police say they are investigating. Human rights groups have been asking questions on the identity of the policemen alleged to be responsible for the deaths. Meanwhile, news coming in from the UK Daily Mail newspapers says that hundreds of Nigerian criminals will be sent home to serve out prison sentences under a deal set to be struck by ministers within weeks. Talks are said to be continuing into reaching a compulsory prisoner transfer agreement, which could see more than half of the 500 criminals from Nigeria currently in UK jails repatriated. Britain has even made it clear that it will pay to build new prisons in countries like Nigeria to speed up the process of sending foreign criminals home. Up to £1 million has been promised to upgrade Nigerian jails, including a new wing at the Kirikiri prison in Lagos. Latest figures show there are 534 Nigerian nationals in British jails, 485 men and 49 women.
First Bank, truly the first.
Well, it's a public holiday, but business has not stopped. Here's Loretta Chogo.
Thank you, Bingo, and welcome to the business scene. Part of the motive of the Minister of Finance, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, at the World Bank IMF meeting, which held in the US, was to drum up support for Nigeria in terms of the practical benefits from its oil wealth. In one of her addresses, the minister gave details of some advantage placed on Nigeria by her natural endowment.
It was a gathering of economic experts and representatives of various countries across the world. And speaking on the economic implications of Nigeria's oil wealth, the finance minister, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, explains how job creation comes first.
We are trying in my country to make sure that this oil wealth is used to the benefit of our citizens. We've seen improvement in growth. However, that growth needs to be made to create more jobs for our young people in particular, and also to address the concerns of the poor people who are not receiving services.
The minister further shed more light on the values of the reduction of the oil subsidies, saying the funds were channeled to the health sector and other noteworthy areas for economic growth.
We tried to take some of that wealth. If you remember, we had a phase back of subsidies where we were spending almost $13 billion on paid subsidies. We were able to roll back 50%. That money we roll back is being used to address issues of maternal health and infant health through trying to reach women and children. And finally, we're also using them to address this infrastructure problem, because if you take a poll in Nigeria today, the number one issue that people will talk about, whether they are poor or rich, is power. Access or lack of access to power, is a very difficult problem. So our oil wealth is used to address that.
With the World Bank IMF meetings now concluded, in fulfillment of its objectives, it's expected that more attention would be given to the reduction of poverty among member countries.
At the commodities market, Brent crude slid below $111 per barrel today after Iran presented a proposal over its nuclear program. Brent crude was trading near $110 a barrel after settling down in the two previous sessions. U.S. light sweet crude also dipped. It slipped under $103 to $102.03 a barrel after closing 39 cents higher. Meanwhile, dealers say about 15 cargoes of Nigerian crude for November delivery remain unsold. And still at the commodities markets, the price of gold fell to its lowest level in 3 months. This comes as hopes that U.S. policymakers are closer to resolving debt negotiations in Washington curbed interest in the precious metal. Spot gold shed about 1.2% to $1,258 an ounce, while U.S. gold futures for December delivery also dipped by 1.2% to $1,261 an ounce. And that's it on business, and News at 10 continues after this.
First Bank, truly the first.
Still ahead on the news at 10, Ghana humiliates Egypt in the ongoing World Cup of African qualifier. To stay with us.